What is going on, you guys? So in this video I want to talk about a couple milestones, a couple YouTube milestones that I recently hit, and kind of the journey to get to these milestones and what they mean to me and so on and so forth. So there's gonna be a lot of rambling, a lot of ums and hums and haws and all that stuff. So just bear with me here. So within the past month or two, I hit my 10-year mark on YouTube, and I basically got an account and started making videos right away. My first video was showing off some San Francisco Giants game used bats that I bought, and my second video was a TriStar Productions signing with Ben Tate. Yeah, y'all remember that name? He was very hobby relevant for about 4 months, and then the season started, and then he wasn't relevant anymore. um, so I hit 10 years, and then within the past month, I hit 3,000 subscribers. So I don't consider myself a YouTuber. Um, I consider myself a member of the community, of the YouTube community, that I really, really enjoy, and have been a part of it for a very, very long time. And I would say I have more friends by far and away that I've met through YouTube than I have in real life. Being in the military, always coming and going, I kind of make it a point not to make friends in my local area, because the last place I was at, I was only in that city for 3 years. And then the two stops before that, I was only there for 2 years. So I don't make a whole lot of friends. So I really kind of dig deep into the YouTube community and you guys. So I kind of wanted to dig into what I've been doing over the past 10 years of my channel, because it always ebbs and flows and is all over the place. And like when I first got into it, I was collecting game used bats and San Francisco Giants game used bats. And if you remember 10 years ago, the Giants were winning World Series and all that. And then from there, I started collecting some Houston Texans cards. I like totally changed my PC. I stopped collecting bats and I sold bats to buy a bunch of Houston Texans cards, and that kind of got boring. And then the Giants started winning their second World Series, and then I started collecting Pablo Sandoval, and then my channel went to TTMing for quantity, and then it went to TTMing for quality, and then I was getting game used cleats. I think in about a year's span, I got around 24 game used cleats via TTM, with the highlights being J.J. Watt, Luke Kuechly, Ryan Kerrigan, just to name a few. That was really, really fun phase, really fun phase here on YouTube. And then I really got into the um, NFL autographs, Hall of Fame autographs, player era runs. That's a big deal, and I'm still doing that, but kind of to a lesser extent. I kind of burnt myself out, and now I'm into wrestling and really enjoying um, wrestling, and it was something I really enjoyed as a kid and all that, and kind of walking down memory lane. And so when I was in Fallon not too long ago, I was talking to a couple coworkers, and they were like, "Oh, you have a YouTube channel?" And they were kind of poking fun at me, and they asked my channel name, and I gave it, and they started looking through it, and they're like, "Man, you've been doing this for 10 years." And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Man, one guy had a video, or not a video, but a channel about working on cars, and another guy said he had a channel where he worked on cars as well and talked about guns and stuff." And they both of them, neither one of them made more than 10 videos, and they're like, "Man, how the hell do you do it? Like, how do you just keep going that long?" And so at the time, I really didn't think about it, the longevity of being on here, um, because I'm not very egotistical and don't like to toot my own horn. But in the internet or the YouTube time, like 10 years is a long freaking time, dude. Um, Heck, two of my four kids weren't even born. um, so I'll put down some notes of kind of my personal secrets to keep going. And I think the number one thing is to love the topic in your videos. You know, at any given time when I was making the game use bat videos, or I went through a Pablo Sandoval PC phase, and the TTM videos, and now the wrestling videos. At any given time, I was extremely passionate about that phase of collecting, and I just thoroughly enjoyed making the videos. So I'd say that's number one. I'd say number two, don't do it for the subscribes and the likes and the shares and the views and all that crap. This is once again just my personal take. Um, a lot of people didn't know, and I didn't say anything, but I was at 2,975, so 25 views shy of 3,000 for over a year. I never said anything because it's not about the subscribers and the views and all that stuff to me. I figured if you want to watch my channel, you'll watch it, and that's awesome. I shouldn't have to tell you what to do and all that stuff. It seems so silly to me. And then my last one is, don't ever feel obligated to make a video. I know a couple of friends of mine feel very, very obligated. Oh man, I haven't made a video in a week. Oh God. You know, and I think that comes across as kind of a boring video, or that the viewers can see that, you know. There's not a whole lot of passion and stuff when you feel very obligated. And that also causes burnout, you know, when you don't feel like doing it, but you feel obligated to do it, and then you get YouTube burnout. Next thing you know, you're gone. So that's that. And then I guess I kind of want to circle back around to loving the topic in your video. And I know I'm all over the place. Like I said, this is just off the top of my head. But when I say love your videos, like right now, I'm in a big wrestling phase. And the wrestling videos that I do, they're honestly some of my lowest viewed videos in 10 years. Not that I get a ton of views or anything, and that's perfectly fine. But I still make them, and I still love them, and I still collect the cards. Because it's not about the views, it's about the 5 or 6, 20, 30 people that tune in and watch it. And it makes me think about my buddy, Canadian Mike, Canadian Cards. He does a series of The Legend That Was, about hockey legends and Hall of Famers. And he's told me multiple times those are his lowest viewed videos. You know, I think he did one a couple weeks ago. It has like 30 or 40 views. But why does he do it? Because he freaking loves it. He loves doing the research. He loves doing the research on the players and all that stuff. And it gets more information in his knowledge bank. And then Triple Crown 24, he had his series that he did for quite a while about the Detroit Tigers autographs. Once again, he was hardly getting any views on those, and he did it because he loves it. That was a topic he was extremely passionate about, and no one else was really digging it, obviously with low views, but he kept at it. And those Mike and JT, those series they did, I loved it because as a collector, I loved seeing the passion that these other collectors had for these topics. Sometimes when I'm bored, I'll watch videos on comic books. I don't even own a comic book. I watch videos on Magic the Gathering collectors. Once again, I don't own a single Magic card. And it's just because as a collector, I have a passion and appreciation for those that collect other things. And I like to see the joy that it brings them. I think that's kind of the cool thing about YouTube. And then another one that comes to my mind was our buddy baseball collector recently did a video about his comic books and all that. And if you look, it's lower views than a lot of his other stuff. And the reason is because, well, not a lot of people want to talk about comics or the Detroit Tiger autographs or legendary hockey players or wrestling cards. But those are some of our favorite passions in the hobby. And so those are some of our favorite videos. So that's kind of the secret, my personal secret on why I've been able to do this for 10 years. There's some dudes, there's not a lot, but there's some dudes that are still making videos that I'm wanting to say joined around the same time I did, if not a little bit before me, possibly a little bit after me. I know Ed Westergriff, I think he joined right before I did. I could be wrong, Ed. I think Miko was slightly after me. Brad, Oh man, I can never remember the digits after his name. Well, Bradley Claus. Um, he was somewhere around there, but that's about all that I can think of that's in the community right now. I know Jason, Mr. Fisherbike, Jason was around there somewhere. So that's that. Kind of rambled on for 10, 11 minutes now, and I don't know if I made any sense or if this is even a good video. But this is just something that was on my mind, and I thought I'd like to make a video about it. So until next time, adios, be safe, bye bye. Doodles.